Hello and welcome to, I believe I was calling the show I Got It Online. I'm going to be honest with you folks, I kind of stole that title and I don't know if I want to use it, but you know what, that's what we'll go with for right now. So you might be asking yourself, just what is this thing all about? Well, I noticed that there are a lot of artists out there who just frankly don't get as much press, coverage, whatever you want to call it, reviews, etc., that they probably should. And I feel like, as someone who's always trying to pay attention to what's going on out there in the world of what's new, I would like to kind of raise awareness of a few bands, maybe give coverage to some artists who I feel are a little deserving. So I'm going to sit here, read some garbage I wrote, and you're going to sit here and you're going to like it. Or not, whatever. You're free to disagree, but you're also free to be wrong in life. So anyways, without further ado, our first review today is for the Cell Press self-titled debut. From the opening salvo of Piss Police, Cell Press hits like a bomb. While it's clear the band have a passion for all things AmRep and Sub Pop, to call the Montreal quartet slavish imitators would be a disservice. In addition to the machine precision of Strap-It-On era helmet, Cell Press's crusty instrumentation calls to mind artists like I Hate God and Crowbar. Desert Breath homages the frenetic drumming of early Mastodon while retaining the hateful energy of Cursed. An absolute high point of the album is Dead at OACI, which finds the band rampaging breathlessly through late-era Burnt by the Sun. Admittedly, some of the material mires itself in similar territory to contemporaries like I Flies or Wrong. That said, Cell Press is greater than the sum of their influences and ugly as hell in all of the right ways. An absolute must-listen for any fan of heavy music. Second review of the day is It Was Good by Shifting. Ireland's Shifting perform an admirable job of invoking post-punk at its most esoteric. Fans of The Fall, My Disco, and Girl Band should find themselves at home from the opening squeals of Spudgasm. Shifting's music is deceptively simple, evoking the static musicianship of artists like Can or Noi, while subverting them with the melodic sensibilities of Sonic Youth. At times, it feels as though It Was Good lashes out at the traditional ideology of art rock, challenging the institution of 4/4 feedback. Shifting are often at their best when they focus heavily on tension, playing with standard conventions only to assault the listener with uncomfortable rhythms and shrill guitar work. Still, It Was Good finds itself thoroughly endearing with the familiar noisy idiosyncrasies of the 90s best. Up next is the self-titled debut from Bathouse. Piss Jeans gone full cave punk, Bathouse's self-titled is an ugly, nihilistic journey through Gothenburg's darkest alleyways. The only light at the end of this tunnel is attached to a cigarette. Swaggering like brain bombs on a bender, Bathouse are drenched in reverb and soaked in sweat. The band tantrums around drunkenly, stumbling over their own sense of self-loathing before wondering just how they got so fucked up. Thanks in part to overly distorted production, the band evokes the intoxicated ethos of artists like Drunks with Guns, Shit and Shine, and No Trend. At times, it feels as though the overly distorted production only exists to mask the band's alcoholic mewling. Still, Bathouse manages to find the fun in overindulgence, affecting the wasted nihilism of Viagra Boys, and making for one of the most engaging releases of 2020. Up next, we have a review for the Lump Hammer album, Beast. Evoking the only good Melvins album, I'll leave that up to you to decide which one that is, Lump Hammer bring an exceptionally minimal sensibility to an already minimal genre. Entire songs are often composed of a single riff, bathed in distortion and played at Mach Q volumes. The band seems to delight most in the torturous crawl, leaving the concept of song as a pleasant notion. Which is not to say that Lump Hammer's Beast does not have a grotesque appeal to it. There is an absolutely maximal quality to tracks like Alarm, which revel in the punishment of a single chord so slow, it makes the band's doomy contemporaries seem upbeat in comparison. There's an unpleasant charm to Beast, as the Tyneside three-piece take repetition and monotony to their hypnotic apogee. An absolute must-listen for fans of Black Shape of Nexus, Teeth of Lions to Rule the Divine, or Connate. And for our final review of the day, we have the new album from Them Teeth, Tired. Hewing close to the bone of noise rock's brightest luminaries, Tired is a sludgy paean to the primal antagonism that defined the sound of a disaffected generation. Invoking the shambolic musculature of Tad and late-era Unsane, Them Teeth potently stomp across well-tread territory. At worst, the band's misanthropic proclivities are comfortably spiteful, which isn't to say that Tired isn't still a mine worth digging. Tired's songs are beefy affairs, carried by massive, percussive riffs that demand to be played as loud as possible. Though one could never mistake the band for eclectic, Them Teeth make up the difference with sheer brute force and bombast. The band lurches through tracks like Lockstep and Acetaminophen Life, conjuring the sense of rusted machinery simply refusing to quit. Recommended listening for fans of Sophie Major, Kowloon Walled City, or Carp. So that brings me to the end of the first episode. Please don't hesitate to let me know what you think in the comments. With regards to the bands, there will be links to all of them in the description where you can check out even more from them. If you like what you heard, please don't hesitate to pick up a copy. I'm sure they would all appreciate it. If you are an independent artist who would like to have their music covered on the show, please don't hesitate to send an email with some links to your work to metameatball@gmail.com. Submissions are open. I'd like to thank you all for tuning in, and you have yourselves a wonderful day.